Happy Monday, everyone. It is Monday, November 15th, 2021. We are almost through, or we are halfway through, almost through the month of November. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. And as always, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, evening, or night, wherever you are across the globe. Okay, so I am going to get started. And today I want to talk about happiness. Is happiness simple? Do you need expensive cars, homes, and clothes to be happy? Does money make you happy? I mean, what is happiness to you? Is happiness just, for me, I can be happy because I wake up every morning. That alone should make everyone happy. The fact that you're blessed with another day, that to me is happiness. I live on the West Coast. I enjoy waking up in the morning, and what makes me happy is when I'm out walking my dogs. And, if I'm out really early and I'm out walking when the sun is coming up, that makes me happy. Or looking at the mountains and, watching them change from, green mountains to snow-capped mountains. That makes me happy. My family makes me happy. My son makes me happy. What makes you happy? I mean, I make myself happy. I'm happy with the state of where my life is right now. So what makes you happy? And one definition of happiness is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. So again, hello, GP Man 45. You are the first one here. Welcome. Happiness is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. And, I think most people would say that that's true, but does happiness have different definitions? I mean, some people, may think happiness is, I don't mean to get graphic or anything, but happiness for some people may be having sex every day. I mean, I don't know. Happiness may be the fact that, you have a job. So I don't know, what makes you happy? So, that's something that I would like to ask. And if anyone has an opinion, well, GP Man right now, you're the one that I can ask if you have an opinion until someone else straggles in. But hey, Frankie, welcome, my friend. And is there a such thing? Happiness is an inside job. That's interesting. That's interesting that you put it that way. Welcome, Crucible Man. Happiness is an inside job. What do you mean by that? And I am going to give you the mic if you want to. If not, you can just continue to chat, GP Man. But I want to know, what does an inside job mean? Okay, and let's see. And Frankie, if you want to respond. One should not rely on others to be happy. You know what? You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I never heard it in terms of an inside job like that, but you're right. I mean, you should not rely on others to be happy. My opinion is, if you do rely on people to make you happy, what happens if they don't make you happy and then they let you down? So yeah, You're absolutely right. Crucible Man, I'm going to send an invite out to you also. And Frankie, I'm going to send one out to you, but you can, I know you're usually at work, so I'm still going to send one out to you. Okay, Crucible Man, you are on.
Hello. I guess to answer the question directly, yes, I think happiness is simple. I think we as human beings overly complicate it because we have a hard time defining it. Obviously it means something different to everybody. I think we all have a universal understanding of what quote unquote happiness means in a general sense, but it means something different to each of us. And I think the simpler approach is probably the better approach. And I forget who said it. It was an actor. It was not a great philosopher of our time or anything, but I found it to be so spot on. And he said something to the effect, happiness can be something as simple as having something to look forward to. And, as you get older, as I'm getting older, I guess we're all getting older, but you come to define happiness in different terms. What might have been happiness for you in your 20s is going to be maybe a different standard when you're in your 40s or your 50s or older than that. And just something simple and basic as having something to look forward to. And until you don't have something to look forward to, which as you get older and your social circle shrinks, you do different things to occupy your time and you do different things in the pursuit, quote unquote, of happiness. But as you get older and your world starts to shrink a little bit, the things that you used to take for granted in terms of looking forward to getting together with a friend, watching a baseball game. I mean, something really, really simple. And when he put it in those terms, it really was very poignant for me because I thought, maybe we're all asking too much out of happiness. Maybe we need to aim a little bit lower. Because there are a lot of happy moments in life that are not of great magnitude. And so I think we all have different expectations of the word happiness, but something as simple as having something to look forward to was something I never really considered as far as what would be a definition of happiness.
Okay. Welcome, Feisty One. Does anyone want to agree with what Crucible Man said? And I want to go back since there are more people coming into the room. One definition of happiness is, and I'll read it again, happiness is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. But I want to take it another level, and well, not another level necessarily, but do you think that happiness also means that it's just what Crucible Man says, and I'm just going to go a little further, that it is living a simple life. I know everyone wants to win the lottery, whatever, but some people, it has shown, you win the lottery and you're not that happy, you're miserable, you have, be it because people are, they have their handout, whatever, or, taxes and, everything just, you're buying all these new things and what have you. And, is that really happiness? And Tony says, I am a simple man, I would like to believe that I live a simple life, and, everyone may not agree, but I'm also a low maintenance person. There's not a lot that I'm not somebody that has to be wine and dine, whatever. I mean, it's nice, but being simple is simple, something that can make you happy. People who don't have as much money, but they have a good family, are they happier than the ones who have millions of dollars and those people, their family life is crap? Their parents are always out of town or traveling or jet setting, whatever, as opposed to the simple person who may not have much, but, mom and dad, they come home every day and, we all have dinner together as a family and everyone's happy, so is that, also one thing of happiness. So, Tony and Feisty One, I'm going to send invites out to you guys. If you guys want to speak, go ahead. You're more than welcome. If not, I understand that too. So, but what do you guys think of that? in terms of happiness also being a simple life. Um, and then some people say that some happiness, there are three levels of happiness: there's pleasure, passion, and purpose. So Tony says, I own 43 properties that are paid for. I thank God for it, but it don't make me happy. Okay. All right. So do you find your happiness other ways, or I mean, what? Okay. So Tony, what makes you happy? And again, if you want to come on and take the mic, you're more than welcome. Okay. And while we're waiting for Tony to respond, I'm going to go back around the Crucible Man. So what do you think? Do you think happiness is a simple life? Or do you believe that there are three levels of happiness, pleasure, passion, and purpose? Okay, Tony, you are driving. Totally understand. So yeah, you watch the road. Um, so Crucible Man, I'll circle back around to you unless somebody else wants to come on.
Well, it's very subjective. As I said, it's different for everybody. And a lot of people think they know what happiness is, and it frequently is something that they don't have yet, whether it's money, a nicer home, nicer clothes, nicer vacations, material type things, which is how a lot of people measure their happiness. But I think, I don't know if GP Man said it or somebody said it, it comes from inside. And you have to be realistic about what constitutes happiness. If you have an unreal objective or unreal expectation of happiness, you're never going to be happy. If you're always chasing something else, you're never going to be happy. So to answer your question, I think happiness is a simple life, because people who win the lottery, as you say, suddenly their lives change, and not for the better. You think you're going to acquire something or obtain some material something, or whatever it happens to be, that constitutes happiness in your world, and then you get it and you find out it didn't make you as happy as you thought it was going to make you. So I think everybody has to seek it out on their own, because we have, material things are happiness to some people. Good friends are happiness, and family are good friends, or excuse me, are happiness to other people. So I think as long as you're comfortable evaluating it and you think you've done a thorough job of not being frivolous about happiness, I think that's it, up to each of us individually to decide what constitutes happiness. But simple is usually better.
Okay. All right, feisty one. You wanted to talk. So welcome. What do you want to say?
So I think happiness is really it can actually change over time. So what makes you happy today won't necessarily make you happy a year from now. So it's very fluid, I think, based on point in time, needs change, emotional needs change. And then sometimes, I think Crucible Man was making this point. Sometimes you're just off target with what you think will make you happy. And it's not about time or place, but just you're wrong. You think something's going to make you happy and it doesn't. But, I don't know. I just think it's very fluid. It just constantly changes.
Well, let me ask you this, feisty one: is if there's one thing that you do every day that makes you happy, what would that one thing be if you want to share?
Hmm. Um, One thing that I do every day that makes me happy. Taking time for myself.
Okay.
So I come from a big family. I like having time to myself and doing something specific to me, because a lot of times I think, as a parent, as an aunt, or as a sister, I'm all, or even having people that report to me from a work perspective, you typically get in this mode of putting somebody else's needs before yours, because that's the role that you're in. And so I do think it's important that every person take even if it's a small amount of time, take time for yourself, whether it's reading a book, or whatever it is that you do to relax you, that gives you that joy. And for me, I love reading. I love wine. So I like to combine the two.
So do I.
That works.
So do I.
That works well for me, and that really winds me down. And so, but during that time, it's all about me. The other thing, I'll give another quick example. A little on the personal side, but it's all right. I like taking baths, and I don't want to be interrupted. This is my time. Get it. Don't come in the bathroom. Don't knock on the door. This is my time. I call it my Zen moment, right?
Okay. All right. I think
Where
we
I
all
don't,
have some of those.
yeah, where you don't want to be interrupted, and it's about you. And I think that's okay. I think people are conditioned to not put themselves first, like they're always nurturing or tending to somebody else's needs, and we tend to forget about ourselves. And it reminds me of the whole thing when you're on an airplane and they tell you put your mask on first and then put your child's mask on.
Right.
It's kind of that mindset, because it's a little, I think, you struggle with it. I struggle with it personally sometimes, because I'm like, no, I got to do this for this person, or this for that person, or do this for my mother, and I think doing for yourself is huge, and everybody should take the time to do it.
Okay. Well said. Welcome, Shy Lady. Glad you were able to make it. Okay, and Frankie says that she loves walking. So, I mean, what are some things, and those are simple things. Taking baths, having your Zen moment, walking. If you're just, sitting back and listening to music, whatever. Those to me are simple things. So, what things do you think that are complicated that can make you happy? When I say complicated, I mean, I think having a lot of money and being rich and famous, being famous to me is complicated, but does it make you happy? I mean, do you want the paparazzi in your face all the time? When you walk down the street, or you're at the airport, or you're at the grocery store, people who are famous. I mean, do they really want someone, hey, how are you, you go to a restaurant, you're trying to eat, and someone's asking for a selfie or an autograph, or whatever. That's what I mean by complicated things. So are those type of things, do they make you happy, or is it just you're just playing this game every day, and you put on this face, but when you get home at night, you cry, not literally necessary, but so anybody want to go for that one? I'll circle back around the Crucible Man, and then I'll ask Feisty one. Anybody else wants to chat? Go ahead, Crucible Man.
I think one thing that provides happiness to everybody, but is complicated in a lot of ways, is other people and other relationships, whether they're romantic relationships or whether they're just friendships, co-workers, however you're defining that relationship. They can be very, very good. Obviously, it's what makes the world go round, but they can also be complicated. And what we think is going to make us happy with a certain person, or like I said, it could be a friend, or it could be a boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or anything. We frequently misjudge what we're going to get from that relationship, because people are complicated. We all are complicated. We're complex human beings with a lot of moving parts. And so I think one of the things that is so key to being happy in life is having good people around you, whether it's just friends or whatever, however you're defining it. But it is so difficult because we're all so complicated that it is not as straightforward as you would think. I'm going to have a bunch of friends. Well, that's fine when you're young and the standards are low, but as we get older and we have expectations of each other, we disappoint each other a lot. And it's important, I think, to forgive each other and understand that we're all flawed people. But to answer your question, one thing that is essential to happiness, but is very complicated, are relationships with other people in their pursuit of happiness.
Okay, that's interesting that you said something that you said was interesting when you said that when you get older, people disappoint you. I think that when you're younger, people tend to disappoint people tend to disappoint you more, because when you're younger, when you're in grade school, high school, or even college, your friends are flaky. I mean, your friends can be flaky, whatever, and you have cliques and what have you. You have that he said, she said, stuff. You have all that stuff that goes on when you're younger, and I think when you're younger, people tend to disappoint you more. And I think that if you're looking for happiness from friends, I think you tend to get it more as you get older, because people have learned, they've gone through trials and what have you with friendships and with relationships, and I'm not talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking relationships in terms of friends, whatever. I think that your friends when you're younger disappoint you a lot more, um, than when you are older. So I am going to circle back around to Feisty One. If anybody else wants to jump in, you're more than welcome. Feisty One, what do you think of what I just said, or what Crucible Man
So
said?
it
Do you
was
want to comment? Or
something Crucible Man said about young people, and I don't know, did you say they're superficial or something? I can't remember the term he used. And I was going to say, I don't know. Like a lot of times we don't attribute a lot of depth to young people. And there's a piece of me that thinks it's not about, um, it could be as simple as they keep things simple, and adults overcomplicate things. They allow complexities of relationships to get in the way. And you're sort of speaking to that, because you're saying, I think that what happens when you're younger alters what you think, how well you trust people as you get older. And I think that younger people tend to keep things simple. Yeah, they learn some lessons, some hard lessons. We all have, I have, right? But initially, as a young adult, it is you keep things simple. You don't overvalue everything or overvalue relationships, or it's there. I would even argue in some instances they're easier to forgive, or at least back in the day they were easier to forgive, like what you might consider a transgression, right? And so I don't know. I think that as you get older, you become less flexible and adaptable to those things, or less tolerant, maybe. You're less willing to forgive the wrongs that, or the perceived wrongs, right? So I don't know.
okay, then let me ask this. Uh, let's throw social media in. Okay, so social media is here, and I did not have social media when I was growing up. So I think anybody before what, 2010, maybe, I don't know when social media started really getting big, whatever. Social media wasn't there. You didn't have Facebook, you didn't have Insta, you didn't have TikTok, um, you know Tumblr, and a lot of these other things. You know, people weren't really texting as much as they are now. Smartphones weren't really as out there, whatever. Um, that's why I say, when you look at younger people to today, and even back in the day, I still think that younger people have more crap to deal with in terms of their relationship with friends, where if they want to be happy and they're looking for their friends to be happy, they get let down. It's like you can be friends with this one girl one day, and then all of a sudden you do something to piss her off, and then she has a clique and she doesn't invite you to her party, or you don't get invited to prom or something. Kids take that hard, whereas as you get older, I think it changes. Now I know we're kind of going into a different direction with the show, whatever, but I'm still talking about happiness. So um you know again, happiness can be complicated. For some people, happiness can be very easy, or it can be hard. But I think in terms of relationships between being older and younger, I think young people just today, I just think they have it. I just think that they have a hard time. Um, and sometimes adults don't make it easier for them. So, having said that, does anybody else want to jump in? I'm going to send out some more invites if you guys want to jump in. And Frankie, I know you're at work, and GP Man, you are driving. Shy Lady, welcome, my friend. What do you have to say,
Hey,
girl?
just listening. It varies to me as far as I know we're talking about something that's not really related. We kind of got off on the friend tangent, but I noticed that one of my sons has a lot of friends or people that he consider as friends. He's like a social butterfly anyway, but from my experience, it's a little bit of both. I discovered when I was younger that people do let you down a lot. To me, when you're younger, they do tend to be cliquish and a lot of the he say she say stuff. And by the time I was probably in my early 30s, I figured out who was real and who wasn't. It took me from the time I was a child to, like I said, early 30s adulthood to figure out who's really got your back and who doesn't. And I just say, as far as friendship, in my opinion, it's very, very rare to have more than two or three true friends, people that you can really count on in your lifetime. That's just my experience. And I think that even people that are rich people, I know there's a Bible verse that says um, a rich man has many friends, but you know, everybody want to be your friend when you have money or something that they think they can get from you. But I think true friendship is very rare. I think it's extremely rare. It's just my
So would
opinion.
you, so Shy Lady, would you say that in terms of just circling back around to the happiness word, do you think that you were happier with your friends and your friend circle in your 30s as opposed to your teens and 20s?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yep. Because like I said, I figured everyone out by then. I had been through events, circumstances with people who I found out really didn't have my back, disappointments. And it took that time to find out who's real, who's not. So, like I tell my kids, I said, use the word friendship very loosely. Don't I said because true friendship is a test. And my kids are, they're in their 20s and they're finding lots of disappointments. Lots of disappointments. People are not who they are. You can't depend on them. They like particularly with my daughter, she's a very giving person. If I was younger or whatever, she would be one of the best friends I could ask for because she's the kind of person who just calls and check on you, send you a box of candy or whatever if you're going through a rough day. She's that kind of person, but she can't get the same things out of her friends. They always want to call her and talk her ear off about their life, not really concerned and asking her about, hey, what's going on with you? Are you okay? And how's your day been? But I don't know if she attracts those kind of people, but I told her, I said, you should really use the word friendship loosely because people will disappoint you and true friendship will be a test.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I meant in terms of in terms of the happiness when you get older in relationships. And again, I'm not talking romantic relationships, and maybe even romantic relationships. I think when you're younger, you go through more crap. And but when you're older, you kind of know who's going to do what and who's going to do whatever. So you expect it, Shy Lady. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Feisty One. Then I'm going to circle back around the Crucible Man. What is one thing that you do every day that makes you happy? If you want to share.
One thing that I do every day that makes me happy, I try to tell my kids that I love them before they leave the house, or my daughter, she doesn't live with me, but I try to make sure that they know I'm thinking of them. I got your back, no matter what you went through yesterday or what your day's going to be like today. I always want to give them words of encouragement, and that makes me happy, knowing that I talk to them to try and encourage them. to have a good day, because I know that being young, you're going to go through some things. I have one that's in high school, a senior. So, high school is a whole different story. But then I have two that have graduated from college, early 20s. And that makes me happy, just knowing that I've touched bases with them to let them know, hey, I mean, I don't know if I'll see them again, but knowing the fact that I've called them or sent them a text, it makes me happy knowing that they know that I'm there and I love them.
Okay. All right. So, Crucible Man, I'm going to circle around to you. What is one thing that you do that makes you happy? And I'm going to ask other people if they can put in the chat one thing that you do in your day that makes you happy. Crucible Man, you have the mic.
Yeah, I'm going to have to steal from Feisty One. I think reading is something that gives me happiness. The simpler the activity, the better. But I think it's understandable how we all are very me-centric when it comes to happiness. It's very subjective. It means different things to different people. But I think one of the ways a lot of people achieve happiness is by trying to put others first. It isn't always about the traditional thing about happiness is what's going on in my life. What are people doing to make me happy? What external events are going on that are going to determine my happiness? And you're kind of ceding control of the happiness thing to the universe. Whereas if you think in terms of other people, in gaining happiness from that, like Shy Lady was saying, just reaching out to your kids, reaching out to a friend, somebody you know is going through a hard time. Happiness takes all kinds of different forms, but I think that truly happy people are more outward looking, and they're not so concerned about what the world is doing to make them happy. They're thinking about other people, and they can get an awful lot of happiness, by demonstrating good friendship, by demonstrating camaraderie, whatever works in terms of that realm. That's a different way of looking at happiness. But we're wired, I think, to be selfish people, and I don't mean that in a pejorative sense. I just mean we're always about us. But sometimes happiness can be achieved through other people. I mean, look at raising children. I don't have any children, but I know it is an enormous sense of fulfillment for a lot of people. And you gain a lot of happiness by working and doing things through others. And I think that's an often underappreciated element of happiness, because we're too focused on what's coming back to us to determine our happiness, instead of maybe what's going out to others to determine their happiness.
Okay, but can you answer my question? What is one thing that you do every day that makes you happy?
I thought I answered. I said it was reading.
Reading. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. All right. So, Crucible Man brings up an interesting point. Um, but I'm going to have to disagree, and I'm going to, probably take the selfish route. Um, I love my family. I absolutely love my son. I tell him, every day that I love him, even though he's away at school. I text him and I tell him that I love him. And then when we talk, I'm constantly telling him. But I think that you have to make yourself happy first. I mean, you can, do things for other people and they're happy and, oh, whatever, and you can find some happiness in that. But I do believe that you have to make yourself happy first, because I've been around a lot of people who have been miserable, who, every day you wake up, it's like there's something going on, why is this not happening for me? Or, it just got to the point where you just look at these people and you're like, are you never happy? But I believe that if you're not happy first, you're not going to be able to make someone happy. If you wake up every day miserable, and yeah, you may, help an old lady cross the street, or you may do something for someone else, or go, help out in a shelter, or, whatever you are doing, if you're at work and you're helping your coworker, whatever, yeah, that's great, whatever. But I truly believe that if you don't make yourself happy first, you're not really, number one, you're not really happy when you are helping out someone else, because you're going to come back home and it's going to be the same thing all over again. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll have some people that disagree with me. Welcome, Juju. Welcome. Glad you're able to make it. Um, but I do believe that happiness starts from within, like GP Man said earlier. It's an inside job, and I think that you need to be happy first before you can make anyone else happy. And I don't think that that's selfish. I don't think that that's selfish to say. I don't think that's saying that it's all about me. So anybody want to agree with me, disagree with me? Um, I'll start off this time with Crucible Man. You have the mic.
Yeah, like I said before, I think happiness means something different to everybody, but I think true happiness is focused on other people. I know we're not all selfless human beings. We have our needs and we have our wants and things that we define as traditionally making us happy, and that it frequently involves what am I getting to make myself happy? What's missing that I need to include in my life so I'm happier? But sometimes happier can be doing things for other people. Not that we're all selfless human beings and we put everybody first all the time, but I have found when I don't focus so exclusively on my own needs and I start thinking more in terms of others, that can be a form of happiness as well. Happiness does not have to be a selfish thing. It doesn't have to be a mutually exclusive thing where I'm happy and somebody else isn't happy. There's all kinds of ways of measuring it, but I think the simplest symbols of happiness are the basic things that we were taught, when we were kids. Treat people like you'd want to be treated. Be a good person. Keep your word. Those are all things that not traditionally associated with happiness. But if you don't do those things, you're not going to have a very happy life because you're not going to be very popular and you're not going to get the things you want from other people. So I think it's kind of one of those things where it starts at home, and until you extend happiness gestures to other people, you're always going to be wanting something else. If you're chasing happiness constantly as something that you need for your own gratification, I just think the chances for disappointment are high. But if you pursue happiness by doing things for other people, at least occasionally, that's a different way of controlling your happiness. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're actually causing something to happen, whether that's volunteering or whether that's, go visiting a sick relative, whatever happens to be. Happiness can be simply providing happiness to another person.
Okay. All right. I am going to come back and I'm going to once again disagree with you. You know, I don't think that just because you may not do things for other people, and I know this is not this is not everything that you were saying, but I don't think that necessarily that you don't do things for other people is going to make you come back and not be a happy person. Um, again, I go back, I guess, to what GP Man said, and GP Man, if you want to clarify, I may be putting this wrong, whatever. When you say that it's an inside job, and you say that you should not rely on other people to be happy, I do not rely on other people to be happy, and me helping out and helping someone, whatever. If I went through my whole life not doing that, I don't think that I would, be an unhappy person. In fact, I know I wouldn't be an unhappy person. And again, that may make me sound selfish. But I don't think that happiness is determined by how much you extend yourself to others. And Crucible Man, as you said earlier, happiness, I mean, it is a relative term. I mean, what makes one person happy may not make someone else happy. Vice versa. I guess we all have our own, meaning of and definition of what is happiness. So, but we do rely on others for happiness and fulfillment. Um, I I disagree with you. I don't think everyone relies on other people, because if you're relying on other people for happiness and fulfillment, then that would mean that if if you do something. I have every day when I wake up, I'm looking for someone else to make my day happy and to fulfill me. I should be able to get happiness and fulfillment on my own. And I guess it's that word rely. That's a heavy word when you're talking about relying on someone for happiness and fulfillment. I don't rely on my husband to be happy. I don't rely on my child to be fulfilled. So you're saying that I misunderstood. I will give you the I will give you the mic again. And you said shocking. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. So, Crucible Man, I'll give you the mic. And Feisty One, I will come back to you. I promise. All right, Crucible Man. So, what do you want to say?
I was just being facetious with the shocking comment that you disagreed with me. That hardly ever happens. But what I meant was, needing other people. We wouldn't be happy at all without other people. I mean, you have a good relationship with your son, and that makes you happy, right?
Yes.
You have a good relationship with your husband, and that makes you happy. You have a good relationship with your friends, and that makes you happy. Would you be as happy without them in your life?
I would probably say yes. Because and this is, and I probably should not say this over the air, but there are many times when I have said, and I've said it to my friends, if I could do it over again, I more than likely would never have gotten married. But then I wouldn't have my son. I didn't get married until I was 35, and I'm a very, very independent person, and I do a lot of things on my own, and I'm happy. So yes, my family makes me happy, but do I rely on them for happiness? No. If they did not exist, if I never knew them, if they were never a part of my life, could I be happy? Yes. You have people who go off and live in the woods and in the forest, all by themselves for years and years and years, without friends, without families, and they are happy. So you don't need, this is what I'm saying. I don't think that you need someone else to make you happy. Crucible Man?
Well, I just typed into the chat box, but I can go ahead and ask it. Would you be just as happy tomorrow if your family was removed from your life and your friends were removed from your life? Would you be just as happy, and would you find as much contentment and fulfillment without any of the people that you love? You would be completely and solely a self-fulfilling and self-operating person, needing no other human being to make you happy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, well, first of all, if my family disappear, are you saying that I knew them? Okay, when you say if my family disappear, are you saying that I never knew them? They never were here in the first place? Or are you saying if one day my family disappeared, like, they were killed or something, or they died or whatever? That is different. So when you say my family disappeared, what do you mean? When you say, I'm asking you, what do you mean? Because I am someone who, in fact, I know I could, because I've done it. I've done it before. I have gone off the grid before I got married, before I had kids, and I was by myself. I was happy. And like I said, there are people out there who go off the grid, and they go off and do whatever, go live in a cabin, whatever. They don't talk to people, whatever. And those people are happy. So yes, I think that if my family were to disappear tomorrow, but when you say disappear, again, I'm saying, are you saying that they were never in my life to begin with, or they were killed, or?
No, that they were in your life at one point, and you derived some happiness to them from their presence in your life, and suddenly one day, I'm not going to get into the details whether they got killed or whatever happened, but just one day they weren't in your life anymore, and you're saying that you would be just as happy the next day as you were the day before when they were in your life. I find that challenging.
Well, no, but it's also the way you are saying it. Put it like this. I am not someone that needs to rely, and I guess that's the word that you say, that you rely on other people to make you happy. I don't rely on other people to make me happy. If people are in my life, if my friends are in my life, I have friends who I count as very good close friends. If they were not in my life, yes, it would make me sad. But do I rely on them to make me happy? No. Do I rely on my family to? But you're saying I'm getting hung up on semantics, but that's what you said. You said, and I'm in your chat. You said, but we do rely on others for happiness and fulfillment. You said rely. So you're saying that I need people in my life to make me happy. And I'm saying that it's possible not to have people in your life and you can still be happy. Not having my family in my life, if they were to disappear for whatever reason, yeah, it would make me sad. But would I still be able to find happiness? Yeah, I think I could.
Is it wording though? So when you say need versus want, I don't, I could argue I don't need it, but I certainly want it. And maybe that's the difference.
Okay, all right, and that is fair. Need versus wants. I'm looking at the word rely. So if you say need versus wants,
Yeah, I want my
do
kids
I?
and
I
my
mean, I
husband
mean,
in my life,
would
but
would I want people in my life? Yeah. Do I need them in my life? No. Do I need them in my life to make me happy? No. I still believe that happiness comes from within. So, if I see one, I'm gonna give you the mic some more if you want to add anything. If not, Shy Lady has been patiently waiting. I know she wants to say something.
I'm good.
Feisty one, do you want to say? You want to say anything else? Okay, I'll circle back around. And Crucible Man, I'm gonna circle back around to you too. All right, so Shy Lady, my friend, you have been patiently waiting. What do you want to
I've
say?
definitely been enjoying the dialogue. I can
Well,
say
Crucible Man and I would rather I disagree with him more so. But anyway, go ahead.
I actually see his point of view as well as yours. And my perspective is that people are different. I know people in my life who feel that they need people, they I would call them needy. They need people to affirm them a lot, to constantly chat and tell them, oh, I appreciate you. Oh, I love you. Those are the kind of people that rely on people to make them happy. I know people like that. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people like that because I believe that the majority of people are selfish. I think people who can go through this world, I'm kind of a loner. I'm kind of a little bit, like I can make myself happy because I like reading a lot. I'm a writer as well, and I can make myself happy by vicariously reading a book or even watching something entertaining on TV. I can make myself happy, or getting a piece of one of my favorite things, munching down while I'm reading a really good book, somewhere in a nice spot, somewhere on vacation by myself. I could do that. I don't need other people to make me happy, but I know lots of people that do. I know people that get married because they feel that they want to be happy. They're not happy by themselves. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot. I don't have the surveys or numbers, but I would venture to say that the majority of the people in the world are selfish and they need other people in their minds to make them happy, to fulfill their ego, to fulfill who they are, to affirm them, to make them feel good in their minds. And I think that people like you and me are rare. I think we're rare. But like I said, that's just my opinion. I haven't done any surveys or anything like that. But I do believe that there are more people in this world who rely on others to make them happy. Because people by nature are selfish. They're very selfish. It's all about them. I know so many people like that in my family, outside of my family. So many people. It's all about me. They don't care about what you think, what you feel. That's what I was telling my daughter. people call her up, tell her all their problems. It's always about them. Never ask me, how was your day today? What's going on with you? How's life treating you? Never even ask because they don't care. It's all about them. Listen to me. Let me tell you this. He did this. He did that. She said this. My mother said this. My dad said that. All day. Never once ask, how about you? How are you feeling? That's just my opinion, my take.
Okay. Let's see. Let me read some of the look at some of the comments here. Juju says, agree, one is not a lonely number. Frankie says, damn good show. Thank you, Frankie, and thank you for your pod beans. Thank you for everyone that's liked the show. Let's see. Okay. Frankie says, y'all getting deep. You know, and again, like Shy Lady said, I mean, I know people who, again, I'm not someone. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not saying that people have to be needy, whatever. But I'm not a needy person. I'm not someone who constantly has have to have people around me, pumping me up and patting me on the back and what have you. Um, I'm okay with living by myself. If I ever got into the situation where I was divorced or widowed, whatever, I would not get married again. That's not something that I would do. So again, where Feisty one says want versus need, do I want to have a lot of people around me? Do I need to have a lot of people around me? Do I want friends? Do I need friends? I mean, you know, I just think that you have people who they just need to have people around them, and some people are just so needy that they it's like they don't know what to do if they didn't have people to make them happy, that they seek out others to make them happy. And I'm just not one of those people. I'm just not wired like that. And again, I don't know if it's just the way I was brought up. I was brought up by a very independent mother, who my father my mother and my father raised two very independent daughters, and and it works for me. I'm just not that type of person. So I'm going to circle back around to let's see. Does anyone else want to say anything before I circle back around to my three callers here? This has been a very interesting conversation, and as Frankie says, y'all getting deep. So, all right. So, Crystal, man, I'm going to circle back around to you. All right, you have the mic.
Yeah, I don't want to get too caught up with nomenclature, because you seem like you focused in on that word rely as some, kind of a code for something else, that's something bad. Pick another word, count on somebody. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to reflect that sentiment, but think of your life without people in it. You're not relying on them per se, but think about it if they disappeared tomorrow. There's a movie called It's a Wonderful Life. I'm sure we all have heard of it and seen it. And it asks somebody to imagine their life without all the people that give them happiness. And they showed what that looked like. So I don't want to get too hung up on individual words like rely, because it maybe implies something that I'm not intending. But we do count on other people, because in one way to measure that is to say, okay, the people that I love in my life, I may not think of them in terms of giving me happiness or counting on them giving me happiness. But if they were to leave my life tomorrow, if all of the people who matter to me, who provide me a sense of purpose, a sense of well-being, those are external things that we do rely on, because the way to determine whether you're relying on it or not is what happens when it goes away. So, yeah, I don't want to get too hung up on certain certain words, I guess. But that's why all so that's why everybody is here. They're seeking companionship, and that was why I said you know. Anyway, I think I made my point.
All right. So when you say that's why everyone is here, are you talking about here on Earth? Are you talking about here in this podcast?
No, here in this podcast, and
So okay. So you're saying that people are here seeking companionship, or are they just looking for a good conversation, or and I don't mean to be hung up on the word rely. I was just responding back to what you said. And again, if my family were to leave tomorrow, would it make me sad? Yes. But at the same time, um, I would still be able to find happiness. So I don't know. I don't. Again, you said not to use the word rely, but then you came back to the word rely, and I'm, again, um, if my family and my friends were to disappear tomorrow, it would make me sad. But would I still be able to find happiness? Yes, because I'm that type of person. I don't need other people um, for me to find my happiness, because you can find happiness in a lot of different ways. There's so many different ways in this world that are out there that can make you happy. So I'm going to circle back around the feisty one. Feisty one, what do you have to say?
Oops, sorry. Um, yeah, I think I can find contentment with myself. This is why I asked, is it wording? I can find contentment with myself. I am a big reader. I am sort of a loner at times. Um, but I enjoy my family. I come from a big family, so I enjoy people. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy socializing. So I think, it's sort of a loaded question. Could I survive? Yeah, I could survive. I just wouldn't necessarily want to be without them, if that makes sense. Doesn't mean I can't. It doesn't mean I don't know how or I can't. I can.
But
I
does
just
that
would
mean
rather.
that would also make you unhappy? If your family was not there, all of a sudden, would you just, be unhappy? You would still be able to find happiness in some way.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you can liken it. This is not necessarily a good example, but when people die, when they pass on, you love them. You know, both my mother and father are deceased. I love them both. I wish they were here today. But I go on. Am I just unhappy? No. Like I find happiness. I just rather they were here, but that doesn't mean that I can't be happy because they're not, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. Okay. Shy lady, circle back around to you. Sure, anybody else doesn't want to jump in before we wrap this up? Shy lady, what do you want to say? You there? Shy lady? Okay. And I am going to go back. All right. So we've gone back and forth, in having other people um, make you happy. I'm going to ask one last question. And this is going back and forth from what Crucible Man and I, we're going back and forth on. For you personally, and this is just a question I'm putting out there. If you all can type it in the chat, or I'll send the mic around again. Do you personally need other people to make you happy? And I know the way I'm saying it, I'm specifically saying it like that. Okay. No. Anyone else? Do you personally need other people to make you happy? Okay. Juju says no. Frankie says no. GP Man. Okay. Crucible Man says yes and no. That's interesting. Let's see. No, but I would like others in my life. Okay. Good. Okay. GP man, you have an answer for me, sir? Oh, he is still driving. Okay. And let's see. Shy lady, do you need other people in your life to make you happy? Unless you walked away. And feisty one, do you need other people in your life to make you happy? Said that they were told to contact the stores that. Okay, sounds like she's doing something else. Shy lady, you there? Okay, my mic is not. And Crucible Man, yes and no. You also said yes. You said yes and no.
Yes and no as far as what now?
Do you need other people in your life to make you happy?
Yes, yes. I think we all need other people in our lives.
Okay, no, I'm asking you. Do you need other people in your life to make you happy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Then I'm going to ask you this personally now, since you said that you think we all need. So you think that no matter what, for the most part, everyone in this world needs other people to make them happy. And do you think that people are lying or not telling the truth when they say that they don't need other people to make them happy?
No, I don't think they're lying. I think we all have different needs and different requirements. We're all social. We're social animals. We're on this earth to interact with each other. That's how we survive as a society. And everybody has varying degrees of how much outside contact they need. Some people are perfectly fine, barely speaking to another human being their whole lives. Other people, they can't go more than 20 minutes without having a conversation. So it's all different. But I think seeking out other people, I think that always it gives our lives more meaning, which should lead to, more happiness. Is it absolutely essential? No, of course not. Could I be happy if I didn't have any friends in my life? Possibly, but I think it's just more challenging, and we need other people more than I think we want to admit. And I don't know whether people think it's a sign of weakness or what it is, but some people have a very difficult time copping to the idea that we need other people. No one is an island. We're social people. And whether we're trying to solve a problem, whether we're just looking for companionship, whether we're looking for a shoulder to cry on, whatever it is, we all need other people. And I know other people don't always make us happy, but more often than not, other people are going to be a source of an outlet for us, a way of validating us, a way of making us feel like we belong. And I think that's an underappreciated sentiment. And I think that it may sound too needy to admit that we need other people, but I just would have a very hard time envisioning this life going through it solo and adhering to the philosophy that I don't need anybody to make me happy. Do I need, quote unquote, need somebody to make me happy? Maybe not technically, but life would be a hell of a lot more lonely and a lot less interesting if we didn't have other people in our lives.
Okay, and so, but that's an assumption that you are making. I mean, maybe that's how you feel about your life, but again, there are people out there who live by themselves. And when I say live by themselves, I don't mean you live in a house or apartment by yourself. I'm talking about they are literally like out there, in the woods, like I said before, and they are living by themselves and they are happy. I guess I'm just saying that for me, I'm not trying to be a martyr or anything like that, but I'm not going to I'm coming back to this word rely. I don't need to rely on someone for my happiness. I mean, I know what I need to do and what I can do. And like I said, there are so many outlets out there for someone to, be happy. Yes, you do need social interaction, somewhat, to talk to people, whatever, but do you need that outlet for them to give you a sense of happiness? I mean, to me, your life must be pretty miserable if you need to count on other people for your happiness. Um, uh, Tony says, I live in the countryside of town, just me living in a 5,000 square foot home. It's time to share my life with wife and kids. Oh, okay. So you're 35, and it sounds like that you're ready to settle down. All right. Um, let's see. I'm just going back through some of these other comments. All right, I think I've gone through them mostly. So I don't know. Again, like Shy Lady says, I mean, I've said it before on the show. I've known her for over 30 years, and I think we are rare, and I I am someone who I don't even like being around needy people. I don't want to be around someone that constantly needs that pat on the back. They're exhausting to me. And that may make me sound selfish, whatever, but you know, you have to be able to find your own happiness, because my next question is what happens if all of your friends die? What happens if all of your family's gone? Whatever. We were talking about siblings, the other day, when it's just you and your siblings are left. What happens if you're the only one left? Are you going to be miserable and fall into a depression? Or are you going to find something on your own to make you happy? So I don't know. I'll circle back
I
around.
need you to.
Let's see. Shy Lady, are you there? Okay. Seems like she walked away from the mic. So, does anyone else have anything they want to say? Crucible Man.
No, I think you summed it up nice. We shouldn't need other people to make us happy, but I think we do to some extent need that external validation. We need that external gratification that we matter to somebody else. Could you live a good life without other people? I'm not sure about that, but I think it's a good point that you shouldn't need other people. But I think as long as we're walking this earth, we're going to seek other people because life's a little too narrow and a little too empty without them.
All right, you just said something that made me literally tilt my head when you said that you don't think that you can, necessarily live a good life without someone else. So, let me ask this: you said that you're single, right?
Correct.
And you've never been married,
Correct.
and you don't have children.
Correct.
So, is your life miserable?
No, but it's emptier than I would like it to be. And when you have a family, you create other relationships by extension. You're not responsible solely for creating all of the relationships in your life. Your spouse will have them. Your kids will have them. You'll have different friendship circles, based on your family unit. So when you're a single person, navigating this world, and as you get older, it's entirely up to you. You determine 100% your happiness or lack, or lack thereof. So that's a little bit challenging. It's challenging all the time, but as I said, when you get older, your social circle shrinks, and it's just difficult to recreate the kinds of relationships that worked for you earlier in your life. But yeah, I think we all rely, and there's that word again, sorry about that, but we come to count on certain things in our lives, and when they're not there anymore, it creates a void, and other people, I think, are one of them.
Okay, all right.
I mean, could I survive without other people? Sure, of course, as long as I've got food and clothing, and clothing on my back, and water. Yeah, you can quote unquote survive, but it strikes me as a very empty existence.
An empty existence for you.
Correct.
Okay, so but it may not necessarily be an empty existence for someone else.
No, not at all.
Okay, all right. Does anyone else want to say anything or make a comment? We are running over, but did I want to give anyone else want to put something in the chat? Have a last word or anything? Anyone? All All right, y'all. Okay. This has been an interesting show. I knew I was going to get some mileage out of this show. I didn't realize I was going to get this much mileage out of the show. Um, and maybe one day I will have a show where I actually agree with Crucible Man. Um, but this has been a very interesting show. So again, I'm asking if anyone else wants to pop in and say anything, get a last word. Crucible Man, I'll start with you, and then I'll see if anybody else. Give y'all one last chance, y'all. Crucible Man, you want to say anything else?
It's tempting to say something just to see if you'd agree with me or not, but no, I'm good.
Well, you want to try me?
I will live to fight another day. I've been
All right.
licked. I've been licked.
Okay, well, again, this show, I'm glad that we can, here's this term, agree to disagree. um Frankie, thank you so much. You and these pod beings, thank you so much. Again, this show does not work without everyone else coming in and putting in their 2 cents, 5 cents, dollar bills, whatever. But I truly, thank all of you. And I knew I was going to get mileage out of this show, but like I said, I didn't realize I was going to get this much mileage. So let's see, Feisty One, do you want to have anything else to say? Crucible Man, thank you very much.
Tourism.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. All right. So that is it, y'all. I am tired, um, but everybody said what they, wanted to say, hopefully. But anyway, tomorrow, I hope you guys come back. I welcome you guys back. Tomorrow, I am going to be talking about. I'm looking for tomorrow's show. Is it possible to feel bad about a wrong while supporting a wrongdoing? That is my show for tomorrow. So until then, speak your truth. I'm Solid Blue Sister. This is my turn to talk. And I thank y'all for coming. Bye. This has been a fun show. Dang, I missed the end. Okay, Feisty One, I'm going to give you the mic again. You want to say something?
Oh no, I just wanted to hear what everybody else was saying, wrapping up. I had to take a conference call. I'm like, oh no.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, and Frankie, yes, I do say y'all. I say y'all on depending upon what it is. Well, Feisty One, hopefully you will come back tomorrow. Again, my topic tomorrow is it possible to feel bad about a wrong while supporting a wrong?
Right, is it possible to feel bad what?
About a wrong while supporting a wrongdoing. So what I'm saying is it possible to feel bad about something yet support the very thing or person you supposedly feel bad about?
Oh, heck yeah, this is good.
So that's going to be the one for tomorrow. So
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So Juju, Feisty One, Frankie, GP Man, Crucible Man, Shy Lady, Tony. There was someone else here. Who else was here that I'm not mentioning? Thank all of you guys for showing up. And GP Man and Juju, especially Juju, you have to give up some of your pool time, girl, and come on and say something one of these days. I have to start using my sound effects. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.